Thank you all so much for coming here tonight. We're going to get started. Everybody just kind of relax. I mean, I know this is half crazy, but this is our first rodeo too. So a little grace, hopefully, with what we have going on. I want to begin, first of all, I want to thank all you candidates so far that are here. We're going to be doing this throughout the evening. We're starting with the county-wide races. There will be 3 of those, and then we will continue with the other races. Now, we're only doing the contested races. So for those of you who have been asking why some candidates won't be here tonight, that's why, because they're not contested races. And the main reason that we decided we wanted to do this is because this is kind of a sprint. For the first time, we moved here in '94. For the first time, this is actually only the second time that we have had a vote this early. Election day, obviously, as all of you all know, being candidates, is coming up on May 5th. So this is kind of a sprint to get to there. And most of these races, I know these first races that we're doing, are going to be decided in the primary. So anyway, thank you all for coming. Good luck. Let's begin. I want to thank you guys. Slater Bar, thank you for being a part of this, letting us do this here, and all the chamber staff. I want to thank the Dyer County Sheriff's Department. Thank you, Braxton, for coming out and helping us out with this tonight. Mike Smith will be our host tonight. He'll be asking you some questions. Also, as a part of Stage 4 Media, Steve Morgan back here, he'll be the director. All of this, once it's finished, you'll be able to share it, put it on Facebook. I don't care what you do with it. It's free, whatever you want to do. Also, Sergio, thank you on camera and helping us out tonight too. Is Miles Holland. Thank you for being a part of this. I want to begin with, start with Pledge Allegiance to the flag, if you don't mind. If you don't mind, and then we'll close with prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Let's pray. Father in heaven, thank you so much that you have given us this opportunity to get together and to look into the hearts of the candidates who are vying for some of the most important jobs in this county. Father, we pray that you will guide, guard, and direct everything that happens tonight. Father, we pray that you will give each candidate clarity and be with each one of them as they share their ideas. Curb nervousness. Father, we will promise to give you all the praise for all that is accomplished here tonight. For it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, we're going to start with Diane Moore and Amy K. Clerk. They are going to be running for their position, and of course, it doesn't matter which they didn't have two podiums exactly alike, so. You guys can pick whichever ones you want, and we'll get started here tonight. They've covered this up too. One more thing. You want this one? Okay. One more thing too. Everybody's going to get a couple of minutes to state your platform, whatever you want to call it, and then we'll begin the questioning part of the program. So thank you all for joining us, and let's go.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Diane Moore, and I'm sure that you all know me. I've had the distinct honor of serving as your Dyer County Clerk since 1998. When I began this journey over 28 years ago, I'm not sure I could have imagined the incredible life chapter it would become. Today, at 72 years of age, I stand before you feeling more energized and committed than ever. I have been truly blessed with good health, and my heart remains firmly committed to this community. Every 4 years, people ask me the same question, Diane, are you going to keep going? My answer has always been, as long as I am able and as long as I can make a difference to Dyer County. I believe the experience I've gained over these decades, combined with my genuine love for this county, makes me an asset, not only to the citizens of Dyer County, but to our neighbors in the surrounding counties as well. My office isn't just about car tags. It's about the people. It's about ensuring that every resident who walks through our doors is treated with respect, efficiency, and care that they deserve. I'm running for re-election for one simple reason, for you, the citizens of Dyer County. I have no other agenda than to continue the work I love and to serve the people who have placed their trust in me for so many years. I would be honored to have your support for one more term as your Dyer County Clerk. I humbly ask for your vote for County Clerk, and God bless you all.
Thank you so much. Now to you, Amy.
Let me get my specs on here. Good evening. For those of you that don't know me, and I think most of you probably do, my name is Amy Kaye Clark. I am, too, a lifelong resident of Dyer County, and like many in our community, my life has been shaped by hard work, responsibility, and putting family first. As a single parent, I have stepped up to raise my son, and that role has been the most important and the most rewarding responsibility of my life. It hasn't always been easy, but it's taught me resilience, patience, and what it truly means to show up for someone every single day. That experience has given me real understanding of the challenges that each family faces in our county. Balancing work, raising children, and making ends meet. It's also strengthened my commitment to serving others with compassion, accountability, and dedication. Everything I've done, both in my career and in my personal life, has prepared me to serve the people of Dyer County with integrity, reliability, and a strong work ethic. Public service is about service, and that's exactly what I promise to give the people of Dyer County every single day. So when you go out to the polls, I humbly ask for your vote. If you want someone that believes in hard work and will always put the people of Dyer County first, then again, my name is Amy Kaye Clark, and I would be honored to serve you, the citizens of Dyer County, as your next county clerk.
Thank you, Amy. Mike, you're on, buddy.
All right, Miss Diane, good evening.
Hey.
You said you served since 1998. On a day-to-day basis, what's the biggest challenge you face in the clerk's office?
The biggest challenge I face in the clerk's office is people buying cars on Marketplace, and they come in and they've been scammed. That's the biggest thing, biggest challenge I have every day. But we don't turn those people away and say, you've just lost your money. We make it work. It's a process, but we make it work.
It sounds like you and your staff, you do face challenges every day.
All day long.
When those type of people come in with those type of problems, how do you address that?
Well, most of the time we have to send them to an insurance company to get a surety bond, and it's a process. We have to get it approved, and the customer is actually out money. But what they do, they go to Memphis, and the cars look great. They go to Memphis, they're cheap, they take cash money. And these are people around our county you would know. But they come back with their car, and they have a drive-out tag that's fake. It's fake, and they don't know it. And they come in there, and sometime when we run the VIN, the vehicles are actually stolen. So what we have to do then, we call the sheriff's department or the police department, and then confiscate the vehicle. And then sometimes the people never get their money back, because the problem is once you pay those people their money, and you usually pay them at a store, a vacant lot, a Walmart, and once they get your money, you can't reach them again. There's no way. The number you've called before the sale, it's gone. They'll never answer you, and you can't track them. But we do deal a lot with the state of Tennessee. We have a state investigator in Jackson, and they have state investigators in Shelby County, and they work closely with them. Sometimes they're able to do it, but very seldom.
Okay.
But most of the time, if they're not stolen, we can help make it work.
Thank you. Amy Kaye, good evening.
Good evening.
Deciding to run in this upcoming election, what qualifies you to become the clerk?
Well, I've been in the car business for the last 17 years. We deal with titles, we deal with registrations. I'm nowhere near as qualified as Miss Diane is. She's been doing it a long time. I hope to follow in her footsteps and be available to the public, be present, and go forward with that.
Okay. Amy, on another note, if elected, what changes do you foresee? Do you have a plan of action if you were elected?
My plan is to just focus on improving the organization, streamlining processes, and make the clerk's office as user-friendly as possible. Try to reduce wait times, ensuring accuracy, and always be sure and put the customer's experience first. There's a strong team that's already in place, and my goal would be to work alongside them and make an already good office even better.
Ms. Diane, that sounds like a credit to your office with the staff already in place. How do you feel about your staff?
My staff is like no other. I could not do that. This is not a one-person job. The county clerk is the overseer. But believe me, I could not run the county clerk's office without my good employees.
Right. Do you foresee making any changes or any changes needed at the clerk's office at this time?
I'm going to just say this. I don't know how you could do any better than we do. We improve daily. If there is anything offered to the Dyer County Clerk's office, we get it. I say yes, let's try it.
Right.
We had county clerks from all of West Tennessee visit us before Christmas, and they've been back, and they said they were amazed at what they saw in our little town. And I'm talking about they came from the big cities, but they came to Dyer County, and they were impressed. And to me, that says something, not for me, but for Dyer County. We do driver's license, we do fingerprints, gun permits. I mean, anything that's offered, I'm going to say yes. If it's going to help the customer, we have the drive-through, we have 2 drive-throughs, so it's speedy. That's for renewals only. If you have title work, you must come into the office unless you're handicapped or there's something that keeps you from being able to come in.
Amy Kaye, you in running in this election, it sounds like the clerk's office has a lot to do with customer service. And you certainly, with your experience in vehicles, you know all about customer service. Why now for you?
Well, if you want my honest opinion, I really thought Miss Diane was going to retire. I've been the last 4 years. I went and talked and really thought her last term was going to be this past term. So I've been telling people for 4 years that I was going to run for this office. So.
Okay. Miss Diane, you mentioned in your opening statement, one more time. Do you feel like that this will be the last time?
I know it will. But I'm going to tell you, I never said that I was not going to run. 4 years ago, my daughter had leukemia.
Yeah.
I was going through that battle, and Amy came and talked to me and asked me, was I going to run? And I said, yeah, I'm running. And she said, well, I was going to run, but if you're running, I'm not going to run this time. But I never told anyone that was my last time. I never said that. This is my last time. You can mark it down. And I'm not running to turn it over to somebody else. It's been said on the streets that I'm running to let someone in my office get appointed to that. That is not true. I'm running for one thing and one thing only. You see me, I can walk in here without a walker. I think I'm able to continue doing what I'm doing.
Thank you. Amy, you were shaking your head. Would you like to respond to
No,
that?
I didn't mean,
Oh,
I,
okay.
I didn't mean to be shaking my head. I apologize.
Okay. If elected, do you foresee any changes, any major changes to a customer service friendly office?
I don't see any huge major changes. I do believe in being up front and being present, being right in the front door. That's the way I would be. I would like to, when the customer comes in the door, I want to be the first face they see.
Gotcha.
So, Amy, how many years again was it in the car business?
I've been with Delta and now Express 17 years.
Okay. What are some of the challenges there that prepare you to take on something like this?
Every day we deal with the customer service aspect. We have angry customers come in. We have people that have, they've lost the title to their car. They come in and they want to trade, and the car's not actually in their names. We have to send them down to the clerk's office to get a title swapped over into their name. Again, I'm huge on the customer aspect of it.
Okay. Ms. Diane, you've said that this will be the last time that you will be running. So, obviously, wanting to, if you win this time, doing the best that you can to continue forward. Is there? How would you leave that office? Just like it is, pretty much? How would you, if somebody else will obviously be taking it in 4 years, how would you leave that?
I'll leave it better shape than I came into it.
I think
Okay.
we
You
can
want to
all
go
agree
back
with
and read
that.
the papers, you'll see what I walked into, and
Yeah.
you'll see what it is now. There is no way that I would leave it in disarray
Yeah.
for the one that came in after me. I would leave it in good, excellent condition. I could not promise that the same employees would stay. I could not promise that. And one other thing I'd like to say, and I don't know if you'd like for me to say it or not, but these car dealers, they bring problems to us. So if they've got people that can handle it there, why do they not let them handle their problems? Because they bring the problems to us, the office personnel. That's what I don't get.
Well, I've got a problem that we're one of the highest money-wise wheel tax in the state, and I know you don't have anything to do with that. How many complaints on a daily basis do you get about the cost of the wheel tax?
I get them daily. And it's nothing, I have nothing to do with the cost of anything. I tell them they need to contact their county commissioner. That's what I tell them. And I tell them that what the last $30 that was raised to put on, that was attached to it, I tell them that was to provide for the ambulance service. That's what I've been told. As far as all the meetings and voting and everything, that's what I've been told.
That we still don't have,
That's right.
the ambulance service.
But it's helping to fund what we already have.
Yeah, we'll
West
get to that in
Tennessee.
a little while.
But that's it.
Okay, as we get closer to wrapping up here, I want to let you guys say, we started with you, Miss Diane. I would like Miss Amy to kind of wrap this up, your campaign, as far as, what this is, your pitch to the voter. What exactly do you want to say to the people who are watching today?
I'd like to say that serving this community, to me, means a whole lot more than holding a title. It means being present. It means being front and center. It means being accountable to every single person that walks through the door, especially those people who feel overlooked or unheard. To me, it's about treating people with dignity and respect, no matter their situation. Whether someone's coming in stressed, confused, or facing difficult moments, and they deserve patience, kindness, and a clear guidance, not frustration or indifference. I also believe accessibility is the key, making sure the office is approachable to seniors, working families, and those who may not be familiar with what your wheel tax and all that goes for. At the end of the day, serving this community means remembering who we work for. This office belongs to the people of this county, and every decision that I make will be guided by what best serves them and not what's the easiest. Not always what's been done, but what's right. I cannot complain one issue about the current county court clerk's office. They've done a fantastic job, and if I'm blessed enough to be elected, I will continue with that same integrity and will go forward to the next 4 years.
Miss Diane?
I'd just like to say, you know what you have now. You know what you've had 28 years. I love the people. I am accessible to the people. I'm there. They find me. They love on me. And I help them. You would be surprised. They come in there and say, Miss Diane, I want to get a divorce. Can you help me fill out the papers? They bring everything to me, and my bookkeeper says she attracts them. They come to me if they're hungry. They come to me for a lot of different things. But I will say this, there's probably not another county clerk in any of the counties in Tennessee that's going to deal with what I do on a daily basis. I don't complain about it, and I don't regret it. That's what I'm here for, to love the people and to take care of them. And that's all I have to offer. You look at me, you see what you have. And I'm not saying Amy Kaye's not a good person and she couldn't do the job. I'm just saying, you see me, you know what I have, what I do. And that's all I have to offer.
All right. Thank you both for coming up. Thank both of you. We're going to move right along to the sheriff's race. Mr. Grant Montgomery and Mr. Jim Joyner. If you guys are here, which I know you are. Thank you all for coming. Doesn't matter. First executive decision right here. Here we don't have an incumbent. So this is going to make it the same. Not really any different, but what we're going to do is we're going to take it in alphabetical order. So I guess, Jim, we're going to start with you. Let's hear your opening statement as to sell yourself to the voters as to why you want to be sheriff of Dyer County.
The reason I would be honored to have this position is I've been a public servant for 39 years. That's what I know how to do. I serve the people. I've done a good job, and I want to continue doing that job. The Sheriff Box decided he was not going to run for re-election. I made that decision that I would run. Because I see changes that could be made at the Sheriff's Office that would better the Sheriff Department and better the service to the citizens of this county. I'm not saying there's a ton of changes that have to be made, but there are some changes that have to be made. And I will build on the positive part of the positive things that are there, and we'll fix the negative, because there's way more positive than there is negative. There's a lot of good people working there. They need some guidance. And they're eager for that. They're eager to go to work and serve every citizen in this county. So I am humbly asking the voters of this county to allow me to earn their vote for the sheriff of Dyer County.
Thank you, Jim. Mr. Grant?
Yes, sir. I've got a few pages that I could go over. Is that all right, or do you just want an opening statement?
Well, we'll be asking you some questions, but yeah, we'll do a couple of minutes.
Okay.
A couple of minutes.
All right. Thank you for allowing me to speak this evening. It's very important to the citizens of Dyer County to hear from each candidate. To the voters and families of Dyer County, my name is Grant Montgomery, and I'm running for Dyer County Sheriff on behalf of each and every one of you. Some have asked me why in the world would I take a pay cut and go into a political position. Well, the answer's simple. Dyer County citizens deserve better, and that comes with change. I'm doing this for your children, for your grandchildren, as well as mine. I'd like to humbly share with you why I'm qualified to serve as your next sheriff. I've served the Tennessee Highway Patrol for the last 26 years. That's 26 years working the most horrific cases and gaining invaluable experience in the process. I served the United States Army and Tennessee National Guard for 21 years. And of those 21 years, I had very many deployments, over 1,100 days in overseas operations. As a first sergeant, I was in charge of over 180 people. I can't specifically discuss overseas mission, but many of you veterans understand the experience gained in overseas deployment and combat. Anyone that can lead troops successfully on and off the field of battle need not have their leadership questioned. It's been proven. I'm currently working as a Special Deputy United States Marshal and have the honor of serving on President Donald Trump's Safe Streets Task Force down in Memphis. Just come from there, had to take some time out of my day. It's usually about a 14-hour day. But to keep in compliance with state law, I took off 8 hours today to come here and speak to you because it's that important to me. Thankfully, the teams that I've served with down in Memphis on the Safe Task Force have had some incredible numbers and incredible success, with over 6,800 arrests, over 1,100 firearms seized, and very importantly, 148 missing children recovered. I am ready on day one to serve as your Dyer County Sheriff. I'd like to share with you some specifics and where I stand on various issues and how my administration plans to tackle and correct these issues. Folks, you've heard it said many times that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. I know you, like myself, have had enough of the status quo. You deserve better. Number one, I'm putting violent gangs and drug dealers on notice. This is their first and final warning. My administration will track them down, seize their assets, and prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law. They need to stop preying on our citizens, especially our children. They better leave while they still can. There's other places for them to be. Dyer County is not one of them. Too many precious lives have been damaged permanently by bad drugs like fentanyl, and there have been too many drug-related deaths at the hand of these drug dealers. Number two, I'm going to start with fighting drugs in the Dyer County Jail. It's too easy for inmates to get their hands on drugs in the jail. I will make sure that our body scanners are working properly and everyone entering that jail will pass through it without exception. I will utilize our canine daily on jail property. Trustees and those returning to work from the workforce program back to the jail will be searched thoroughly upon returning to the jail without exception. We've had far too many overdoses and deaths in the correctional facilities across the United States. One is too many.
Mr. Grant, we're going to have to, you out of time for your opening statement, but save those ideas.
Not a problem.
You'll get an opportunity there. First question I want to ask to you, Jim, is you mentioned some of the positive things that the Sheriff's Department's been doing. What are some of the specifics of the things that you like the most, having been there, that you like the most about that?
One of the things is the reentry program. I think it's a very good program. It's successful. It helps individuals who are incarcerated. They pay their fines, which may or may not ever be paid. They pay for their boarding. They get their driver's license. They get a job. They go to work. They pay for that with their money that they earn. They're given the opportunity and the ability to change their lives. And that's positive. I don't care how you look at it.
Okay. You also mentioned some changes that you would make, having looked at it. What changes would you make?
Well, some of the changes Mr. Montgomery already mentioned, is combating contraband in the jail. That is a problem. We have been working on that. Since I've been there, we have arrested 2 corrections officers and charged them for bringing contraband in the jail. One of them has just been sentenced to 10 years in federal prison. That's an issue. And every person, I agree with Mr. Montgomery, every person in and out of that jail will go through that scanner. That's what it's for. If we're not going to use it, why do we have it?
Go ahead.
Are they not being used today, the scanners?
It's not being used for every person.
Why?
I can't answer that. I don't know.
Mr. Montgomery, do you know?
No, sir. Believe the last time that we checked, we meaning the folks that are working with me on my campaign, is the last word that I got is they're not being utilized properly because they don't work all the time. I don't know the maintenance records on that, but if they're not working, and I agree with what Jim said, if you've got them and you're not using them, then there's a problem.
I agree with that. So that's something that would be addressed immediately.
Yes, sir.
On day one.
On day one. Jim, let me ask you this. You've got nearly 4 decades of law enforcement experience. And it's one of your things on social media says the right man for the job. What makes you the right man for the job?
Because I have the desire to serve. I'm willing to go the extra mile. I've always gone the extra mile. The citizens of this county deserve someone who's going to go that extra mile. Every citizen in this county and their families need to be able to feel safe wherever they are. It's in their homes, in town, at a ballpark, at church. They deserve that. We owe that to them.
Same thing to you, Mr. Montgomery.
Your question again?
What makes you the right man for the job?
Honesty and integrity. The Highway Patrol's always been held to a high standard, very high standard. I've maintained that standard. Same thing with the military. There are people that support the military, and then there are people that go and give more and more and more of their lives to the military. I do the same thing, just like Jim said. I've dedicated my entire life since I was 18 years old to public service. It's not just something you do. It becomes who you are. Not a cop, but a public servant. There's a lot more to being a public servant than just saying that. It's giving more of your time away from your family, no matter where it's at or what time of day or night it is, to serve the public that you're sworn to protect. That's an oath that doesn't have an expiration date.
Mr. Grant, you said that in your opening statement that there were some changes that you were looking at making. Well, can you be a little more specific, elaborate on that a bit?
Yes, sir. Just like we discussed the jail, as far as drugs being in and out of the jail, why would you even consider that you can take care of your community if you can't take care and get the drugs out of the jail? The jail's a controlled environment. 80% of all crimes in the United States have a drug nexus. So if you can take and attack drugs and make it which is drug dealing, all it is a business, and you can make it a priority, then it makes sense that because they're related to 80% of all other crimes, that by tackling that problem and putting a big dent in it and getting drug dealers out of your neighborhoods, you're going to affect every other crime that there is. And when you do that, you end up making your entire community safe. It's a starting point, and it's a place that you can make a very large impact. Other things that I would do is increase training. One of the things that I've heard from many of the people that work at the sheriff's office and the jail is we would love to have training. We don't get enough of it. Computer-based training is one thing, but when you get hands-on training from some of the best people that are in the business, that's another. There's no reason that we can't have training. We've got a college here that we could further educations with the deputies, do better report writing with the district attorney, and have guests come in to do training from different agencies, the TBI, the FBI, and the Highway Patrol. We could make our organization one of the best and most highly trained organizations that's in the state of Tennessee.
Okay. You both support the reentry program. Is that correct?
I want to say that with a caveat. When we come back in here, and I say we, whenever we come into the Republican Party meeting that was back on January, Sheriff Box tried to explain to all of us in here exactly what the reentry program was and how it was funded. I believe that just about everybody, I'd say at least 8 out of 10 people, left out of here more confused than when we came in. Before I make a commitment, I want to know this, that our tax dollars are not being pulled away from law enforcement activities to fund this. I agree with Jim and 100% that if we can change lives, that's great. But our core mission is protecting the citizens of Dyer County. As long as we're not pulling money away from those activities and we can prove that it's fully funded by the state, then I'll get on board and support it. But I'm going to play like I'm from Missouri today because you got to show me where that money's going.
I understand. The reason I asked that, you got the body scanners, you're going to get those working and all that. People that are unfortunately incarcerated for something they've done wrong and they have taken a turn in their life and they want to be better versions of themselves. How do you feel about in-person visits as far as perhaps their family being able to come and visit them? Is that something you would support or something there's too gray an area to allow that?
I'd like to answer your last question. First, I do support the reentry program. I think it's a great program, and I agree with Grant. Sometimes when you listen to somebody explain it to you, you get more confused than you were to begin with.
Right.
That's why you go to the people who are actually running it.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
That's Kenny Chesser and Alan Bardry. They can tell you every little detail about what goes on, how that is funded, and the benefits of that program. I can tell you another benefit. It opens up bed space for the jail. If you close it down, number one, you're going to lose board fees from the state. That's about $1 million a year. Then you're going to have to put everybody who's in that program back in the main jail. You're going to automatically be overcrowded. We're under a plan of action right now due to some overcrowding. The state can come in and decertify that jail if you don't take care of that problem. You'll still hold all the prisoners or the inmates, but you won't get paid from the state. And then they'll mandate you to build a new jail. And you'll build it one way or another.
Okay.
And that's a lot more money. And one more thing about this, that program funds itself. Like I said at the beginning, everybody in that program gets a job outside. They go to work. 25%, I believe, and if I'm not right about this, I apologize. I believe 25% automatically comes off of every paycheck that they get. That goes to pay fines, board fees. When they go to work, they wear an ankle monitor. They pay for that. When they walk out of there, after they complete that program, their fines are paid. They don't owe anybody any money. They got a driver's license, and they got an opportunity. And a lot of times they have a little nest egg they've built up.
Right. What about as far as, I'm sorry to get to the question that I did ask, is they're trying to turn their life around, and we talk about body scanners and being able to check for drugs and stuff when people come back into the jail. If mom and dad want to see their son, is that possible today?
Today?
Yeah.
I don't believe it's allowed today.
Okay.
And I believe that started with COVID. Now, why it hadn't been changed, I can't answer that because I don't know.
Is that something you would look at to support?
I would have no problem looking into that.
Grant?
I would support it once we take and get the drugs that are in the jail under control. Neither you nor I don't think Jim knows who's bringing it in,
Right.
but we got a kind of a good idea whether it's a CO or whether it's somebody coming on visiting day. They may have it internally. So if we can take and get those things working, then until we get those things working, then let's go ahead and do in-person visits but behind glass. You can't really smuggle anything through a solid brick wall or glass.
Right.
And getting our jail under control and getting the drugs that are being brought in stopped should be priority number one.
Gotcha. Y'all, you both have got a lot of experience. So if elected, what's day one? What's day one changes that you make? And I'll start with Grant.
Implementing the really hard drug enforcement of the jail, taking and making every piece and part with a forensic audit based off of the forensic audit that I'm going to order from the comptroller's office to track every single dollar of taxpayer money on where it's been spent, where it's at, and if it's accounted for. And once we account for our budget, incorporate all those training cycles that I told you about, and also include school safety as a number one priority factor. And to also take and implement new technologies that are out there, such as the flock camera system, to be implemented at key locations, starting out with the Dyer County school systems. I don't know if you're familiar with the flock camera system. It's being used by 90% of the law enforcement across the state of Tennessee. If you've driven to Covington in the last day or two, or even Ripley, you've passed flock camera systems. If you've got those outside of those schools, if there's somebody that's not supposed to be there, like a sexual predator, somebody that has an order of protection, it automatically alerts the sheriff's office dispatch. Sheriff's office dispatch locates and who that person is, verifies it, and lets the SRO know that that person's there. We used it at a ball game one night here at Dyer County. Sexual predator come in. Dispatch notified us. I just happened to be as a trooper working that ball game. Whenever we were notified, we snatched that guy up and put him right in jail. That's the kind of changes we're going to have on day one.
Jim?
Okay, I agree with securing the jail. I also agree with having the deputies become a proactive agency. We're going to have a proactive agency. We're going to be out in the street, in the communities. We're going to be seen, and we're going to have zero tolerance for criminals. You commit a crime, you're going to jail. As far as the flock cameras, we already have flock cameras in place. We need more flock cameras. We also have, right now, I believe 8 LPRs, license plate readers. The spots for them have been approved by the state. We're waiting for the weather to break so you can pour a concrete slab to mount them. They will be in strategic locations all over this county. Anybody who comes through this county will be captured on either the flock camera or the LPR. Somebody commits a crime in a different county coming through, we can research that and see exactly when and where.
You guys have done an awesome job. We're just apologize that we're out of time.
It's not a problem.
But thank you all for coming. You guys have done an awesome job. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Good job, Jim. Good.
All right, now for the ugly ones. I'm kidding. Sorry, you can have that. You can have that. It's yours. I want to welcome our mayoral candidates. David Quick, the incumbent, and of course Eric Maupin, the challenger. We appreciate you guys. We're going to start with why you are running for mayor. Why do you think you deserve the job? And I'm going to start with you, Mayor Quick. And
Thank you,
go right ahead.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Steve, for putting this together tonight and having us here. I appreciate it so much, brother. First of all, I'd like to say I'm a Dyer Countyan. I love the people of Dyer County. I feel blessed to have come from Dyer County and be able to represent Dyer County. I feel blessed in many ways. My wife's sitting right over there, 40 years. She's from here. Love her. We have a daughter, Shelly Reeves. We go to church. I'm a conservative Christian. We go to church without walls, where our daughter is the youth in the youth ministry there. And, just moving forward, I'd like to say that I've worked hard for the people of Dyer County. I'm in my office constantly. I cater to the people. In other words, I run an open door policy. I focus on, have I solved all the issues of Dyer County? No. But I work hard to address all the issues of the people of Dyer County, I assure you. And I think I've made great strides, especially, as a new mayor coming in, some of the opposition that you might run into. Look at the moves I've made. First of all, I'm going to back up and say that I'm from a multi-business oriented family. And I've ran multiple businesses my life for over 45 years. Now I'm starting to tell my age. But with that being said, look at the sale of Hornbrook. I don't think anybody even ever thought about selling Hornbrook, but I looked at the money lost there and said, well, you know what? This is what we need to do, and we need to convert this to another piece of property. And a blessing was there for me, for Dyer County, the people of Dyer County, in the 1200 Community Park complex, was improved our community dramatically, and opportunities to move all our business offices and extend fairgrounds property, and hopefully have the property for an upcoming EMS service that we're going to talk about soon, I hope. Is that enough, or would you like?
Yeah,
to
no,
continue?
you're fine. You're fine. Eric, we'll continue with you.
So the question was why I decided to run for county mayor, and I just want to say I didn't take that lightly. To the citizens of Dyer County, my wife and I prayed about that fervently for a long time, and it just is plain and simple. I believe that there are untapped potential here in Dyer County. I want to see this county grow. I've been a business owner in this county for a long time. My family has employed people in this county since 1938. And so I want to see this county grow for myself. I want to see this county grow for my children and for your children. And at the end of the day, leadership matters. And this is nothing against David Quick. I'm just going to run the county different than he has been running it. And I look forward to the opportunity, if you choose to elect me, to put a plan in place to allow this county to grow.
Then we will ask you the first question. What would you do differently?
Well, first of all, you have to understand what is a county mayor. And so when you look at Section 5 of the state code, it lays out what a county mayor is. And that person, he or she, is to have a pulse on the county, the communities individually, and then bring plans to the county commission. And once that county commission gives you your instructions, so you bring plans to them, work with them, share your vision with them, and then when you bring those plans, when they vote on that, what is good for the individual districts of this county, then it's your job as county mayor to go out and administer that in the best way possible. And so that's what I'm going to do. I want to have a strategic plan and vision for Dyer County, and I want to move forward with that. And I can't make a lot of promises as a politician, but one promise I can make: whoever you elect to represent the districts in Dyer County, I promise you I'm going to work with them. And we're going to have a plan and a vision, and we're going to make it happen.
Mayor Quick, you said you're advancing on the ambulance service here.
Well,
do you have anything you can share with that?
Reply
right
to
now?
Eric's first, if I could.
Go ahead. Go
Could
ahead.
I do that? Sure. The things Eric talked about, I've already done. I have met a lot of opposition. I can't say that I will agree with everything that the county legislative body does, because it's the county mayor's opportunity to bring opportunities to your community. You better watch what you're doing. As you bring those opportunities to your community, you can get blocked. So a lot of times, bringing those opportunities to your community, you have to do it yourself, by yourself. And then when you get to a certain point, bring it to the county legislative body. Well, I like to bring it to the people. Get the people's support, move to the county legislative body, and hope that I can get the county legislative body on board. And usually I can. But you're talking about a county legislative body that for 2 months in a row couldn't pick out a budget committee. They're so divided that you better charge the fence yourself to an extent. With that being said, I feel like that Eric's talking about this right here, and I don't mean to be picking on you, but I'm just going to be honest today. I have created an opportunity for Dyer County and Parks, Recreation, and Tourism that's really unprecedented to Dyer County. And right now, it's over $500,000 in that account, which we have a well laid out plan here in the chamber, the Parks, Recreation, and Tourism Committee, and others for that. But I feel like that is a conflict of interest, and some people want their hands on that without knowing the real opportunity that's in front of us to use that funding. And I will talk about anything y'all want to talk about.
Eric, what do you feel like are the biggest challenges facing Dyer County right now? What are the biggest issues? I'm sorry.
David Quick? No, I'm kidding.
Oh, let me have it, brother. I'm going to let you have it.
So I want to start out and say, when we talk about challenges, first of all, we've got to be united. And I think that is part of the reason. You know, I've run businesses. I don't complain about my employees because they're under me. I've got to bring them a plan and a vision of what we're going to do in our business, and they need to follow that. When you start talking about working with county commissioners, what's good for Bonnecord may not be good for inner city Dyersburg. What's good for Trimble may not be good for Findlay. And so that's the reason we have 20 commissioners representing 10 districts within this county. And so you have to understand that. You have to come to them. You have to work with them. And he talks about going to the people. They are the people. When you go to the polls, you're going to represent. You're going to vote for your representation on that county commission. And you do not need to take that lightly. So when we talk about, I'll go back in the late 90s and the early 2000s to present my point about having a vision and a plan. I worked for Governor Sundquist's administration in the state of Tennessee. For those of you that are old enough to remember, this state was broke. There were times I would get a call from the governor's office or the commissioner's office and say, don't make a copy. Your budget is frozen. Men and women from both sides got together in the early 2000s and said, this state cannot function like this. If you'll remember, they even proposed a state income tax. Now, 25 years later, we are the third lowest tax burden state in the nation because those men and women got together 25 years ago and put together a plan and a vision for our state legislature. I want to do that for Dyer County. We have a lot to offer. This county, I love this county. I was born and raised in this county, and we have a lot to offer, and I can even get into what some of those things are if I have time, and what part of my plan is going to be that we have not tapped into yet.
Mayor Quick, during the last three and a half years, what have you been able to accomplish to generate revenue in Dyer County?
Well, several different things, actually. Government's slow, and 3 years is not long. And turning the process around has been a real challenge for me. But I enacted a very active website, dyercounty.com. There's a great project on there right now that I'll lead up to in just a minute, but I want everybody to pay attention because we don't have a paper, and that's sad for us. But
I left.
Pardon?
I said I left.
Yeah, so that was the bad day. But with that being said, I also activated, a social media page. Through that, I brought transparency. Now I want accountability. We go in a lot of these meetings, and this is just one thing moving forward. But you asked me in the past, and I'll get to that in just a minute.
I asked you about revenue.
Pardon?
Revenue.
Yes, and I'm sticking to the revenue.
Okay.
But my point was right there that now we want accountability. We've been paying reimbursements, huge amounts of reimbursements without seeing receipts. I want to see those receipts. You have a business. I have a business. We have to show those receipts. The people of Dyer County need to see those receipts. Mr. Richard Hill used to do it. It went away on his last term. That will be one thing that would be definitely, I've came this far to get us here for accountability. To do other things, you think this is small stuff, but it took Dale and us three years to enact keep Dyer County beautiful. And we increased our waste management increases by 11%. We've cut that back, way back. I don't have that number in front of me right now, but probably as much as 4 with our state pickup programs and our increased grant revenue on the litter grant, plus a tire fee that we've never had before, a line item of over $40,000 to help clean up tire. That reduced costs, and I reduced cost in many other areas as well, you know.
Eric, what plans, you said if you had time, what plans do you have, things you've thought about that could be a positive for Dyer County?
Oh, absolutely. And I want to kind of add to something that he said, you asked about revenue. I mean, it's plain and simple. When you look at Dyer County government, it needs to be operated like a business. And so when you look at that, our budget right now is increasing around 1% a year. When you take inflation and cost of living, that's not enough. And so what you need to do is increased growth. Smart growth is what I like to call it with our businesses. We need to encourage businesses, whether small or big. And I want to say this real quick. I have an 8th grader. When you go to the polls, think about how important this is. My 8th grader will be ready in 4 years by the time we have another election. She is going to be able to venture out and decide whether she wants to further her education, whether she wants to get a job, or whether she wants to pick a trade. And heaven forbid if she wants to follow her possible dream and start her own small business. What we're doing today is important. We need to provide that future for our young people. For example, why has this not been tapped into? Dyer County has so much to offer. We are a duck haven. We talk about tourism. That was implemented many years ago. I was involved in that with the chamber here in Dyer County, the tourism part of it. Now we have money that's actually coming in. We need to become the Stuttgart of Tennessee. There needs to be duck days in Dyer County for 60 days long. There needs to be events going all over our county, drawing people in from all over the United States of America to duck hunt right here in Dyer County. Why is that important? Tourism is important. When people come to Dyer County, number one, they're more likely to come back if they had a good time. Number two, we don't have to build infrastructure. We don't have to provide them anything. They come, they spend money, and then they leave. And that's what we're after. That's just one thing that's going to be put into the plan if I'm elected mayor. Second of all, we have forgotten about the Mississippi River. We have 2 miles that borders the Mississippi River on Great River Road, or Bungie Road, off of Great River Road. That's right off of the Dyersburg exit, Interstate I-55. It should be our newest industrial park. We've had businesses during the mayor's time in office that have actually looked at sites there. One in particular would have brought in over $13.5 million to our local economy. We need to get the road fixed. I'm working on that, helping work with other commissioners, and we're going to get that done, and we're going to make that a new industrial park. But we have to have smart growth in this county, not just for us and our budget, but also for my kids and your children.
I appreciate that. I've got 9 grandchildren. I want Dyer County to be long and strong when
I
they
think
start.
Eric's heard me talk about that before and jumps up here and mentions it now, but that's called ecotourism. Duck hunting, coon hunting. They have the great coon hunt. All that is ecotourism. It's a natural tourism. And the Bungie Road process has already been, the University of Tennessee assessed that at a $4.75 million job to raise it 3 foot to escape flooding, reduce, the cut down time of being able to use Bungie Road and the new granary and other things that are coming down there. That is a turnaround per year for West Tennessee farmers at a rate of around savings, including savings and net profit on getting their crop out, of around $7 million a year. So I'm very familiar with that.
What Eric talked about having events, do we have anything now going on during duck season?
We're, I came into office, I immediately started on that. I appointed Brianna Roser and Steve Sarton's daughter, Anna Sarton Anderson, now to the West Tennessee Tourism Board. I've been all over the state of Tennessee. Our performance center today took a new level, we now have, for the first time, Eric said that happened when he was in office before or whatever, but no, not. Dyersburg had some tourism things going, but Dyer County has never had any tourism things going before. But now Dyer County will soon have our new person with the MOA here at the chamber to assess events, to work events, and to write grants for events.
But right now, we don't have anything.
Yes,
going.
we do. Well, we will shortly.
Okay.
We are, the Performance Center is in gear, and a big event. We're growing several events, but the October 18th event now is a huge downtown car show slash probably demolition derby, the 5K run that we're introducing. It's the day of the ALS run. We are now moving a band down there to host that. It'll be the largest, probably one of the largest days in the history of Dyer County to draw tourism into our community.
We're just about out of time.
We got plenty of time.
Yeah, but we got more people we're going to get through here. I want to give you, both of you, one last opportunity for about a minute and a half. Sell yourself one last time. We'll start with you, Mayor Quick.
Well, like I said earlier, I'm there for all the people. This is not a part-time job. This is an 8-hour. If you're going to be productive in the county mayor's office, you're going to be in there 6 to 8 hours a day. I take phone calls all night. You're going to be, like I said, you're going to not only address the concerns of the people, you're going to work on them. And if you don't work in that office and read 2 or 3 hours a day and write a couple hours a day, you're just not going to be productive. I've got my tourism, the county's tourism project going. I've been supportive of water districts. You'll soon see. And I can't just mention all that, but I've been trying to block on some of that as well. We do have a meeting and a plan for an EMS service. Dyer County is moving forward in a wonderful way. And if you give me an opportunity, I'll continue to push it forward like that. Thank you for your time. Thank all of you guys. I appreciate y'all, and I appreciate your vote and your support on May the 5th. Early voting starts on the 15th and the 30th. And I'm telling you, I'm the one that has the heart for this job and will take Dyer County and move it forward in a positive way.
Eric?
Can I get a clap?
Well, I'm going to disagree. I think I'm the one that's going to take Dyer County into the future, and I want to earn your respect and earn your trust. First of all, I just want to say I do think leadership matters. I keep saying that. That's why my signs say leadership you can trust. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to move this county into a direction that it does. He talks about it being a full job. I'm up to the challenge. I know that I own a business, and I'm going to have to walk away from that business. I didn't need a job. I chose to run for mayor, and I want to choose to be your mayor. I think about everything takes money. I want to move us forward. We talk about the budget. We talk about the different things that we need. The county commission needs more money to do more things. How do we do that? Smart growth. We talk about Mayor Quick's put up there that he championed trying to keep our taxes down. Yet on the budget committee, he voted for a tax increase. Those are the type of things I will not do. If we can get our budget growing by 4 or 5%, those are the type of things that we need to do. And I'm going to work with economic community development in the state. I'm going to work with other folks. And keep in mind, we are competing with 94 other counties in this state. And we need a spokesperson that's going to go to Nashville and rally the troops, believes in Dyer County, and believes in what we can do in the future. I want a future for my children. I want a future for your children and your grandchildren. I would appreciate your vote. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen, for being a part of this. Thank you so much. Okay, we have gotten through the county part of this. We're going to come into the county commission, but we're going to take about a 5-minute break. Thank you, Eric. We're going to take about a 5-minute break and pause that refreshes, so to speak, and then we'll be back and start the county commission races.